I can't wait for it. But I think that kind of is a good spot to go into our first topic of the evening. And Nate, I really liked what you had chosen for your topic today. So why don't we go ahead and start with you?
All right. I just want to talk about once again the best way that I can put it is the bastardization of quests that we have from like massive MMOs and some modern day RPGs. I remember when I was in middle school and high school, I stayed late after school and we'd play paper and pen games. We'd make our own stories. We'd go on these great quests, great adventures, and we loved it. And it was this great thing. But now that I'm older, I play MMOs heavily. I played WoW, Rift, Elder Scrolls Online, and we've gone from this thing of being a quest, being this great sense of adventure, to being a quest is like a grind now, and it just feels so exhausting. And instead of saying yes, I get to go on a quest, it's like, well, man, gotta knock out these quests and maybe get this loot and then do this and do this. And I mean, it's obviously probably varies from person to person, but it just feels like we've kind of ruined a great thing in gaming.
I'm not necessarily sure that we've ruined a great thing in gaming. I think because every game, including MMOs and RPGs especially, it's doing the same thing over and over. It's just how well the developers hide that you're doing the same thing over and over. And when you look at it, not a lot of RPGs have changed drastically in their form. So I don't think it's necessarily that we've lost what makes the quests like so exciting. I think it's we've become desensitized to the quests that we're doing.
I don't
Uh,
know. I mean, I think there's some argument about like I think it's beyond this idea of like whether a game is linear or not linear. It becomes like, am I giving you interesting things to navigate around in the plot of the main story arc? And so like I so my topic for or my basis for comparison would be like a game like Chrono Trigger, where you go on these like random quests that you really don't understand. It's like, why do I need this stone in this village? It doesn't make sense. Maybe it's the key to time travel. Um, that stuff I think is cool, and I think more and more it is a grind, and especially as you
Absolutely.
create quests that like you have to do over and over again to get different things. There's just this repetitive nature where like the quest seems to be like what you have to do. Like exploration isn't something you can do anymore. You just quest.
I
Maybe.
agree. I mean, I totally agree with you saying. I mean, it's not all games. It's a far throw from all games. There are games who do it absolutely perfectly these days. It's just some of those games, like how many boars have you killed in WoW for the people who play WoW? It's like I think it's the best relatable one. I mean, how many times can you go fetch this one specific item and bring it back? It's absolutely what you said. It's how well can you tie that in with a story and make me feel like I'm progressing a story and I'm doing something that furthers the adventure instead of just doing chores.
Exactly.
yeah, but in the end, you're still doing just that. You're doing chores. Um, I mean, how much can you dress it up?
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean, go ahead. Go
you're
ahead.
not gonna go ahead. Insist. I insist. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I think it's like in some sense, it's like, all right, here's how I grind levels in a game, and I'll go and get random encounters and I'll kill things. When you turn that into like a quest every time, then like it does desensitize me to what a quest actually is.
Uh,
Agreed. And it's like Destiny. Destiny is a great example.
Yeah.
Um,
because we don't talk about Destiny enough on this
Never.
show.
It's the Fight Club, right? You don't talk about it
Yeah.
ever. But Destiny does it great because you can actually do different things. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are other games that have that ability. You can go to level however you want, or you can even skip all the quests. But Destiny, I never felt. I felt like there was a storyline I was pushing. I may not have been the best way to tell a storyline because Destiny is infamous for that. But whether or not I understood what was going on 100% through the story, I understand that I was doing something in that story, and it's very rewarding.
So what you're telling me is back in the day when you completed Vault of Glass and you needed 800 relic iron, you could see how that tied into the
Hey man,
story by running around in circles on Mars trying to farm chests and relic iron.
I don't know if you've paid attention to the value of Relic Island on the stock market, but it's some pretty impressive stuff.
But the thing is, that was never a quest.
No,
I mean,
guess
it was now with the swords, but like
Yeah, like Touch of Malice. Touch of Malice goes a bit too far. I'll give you that. Stuff like that's mind blowing. But
I don't know. The Touch of Malice quest wasn't that bad. I think the exotic sword quest, that was garbage.
that was super grindy.
Running around Mars hoping that I could collect
Right.
10 of these freaking ascendant essences or whatever the fuck it was. It made me want to murder a baby. What made me want to murder a baby even more was the fact that within 5 minutes I had 3 of them, and then the other 2 people I was running with hadn't gotten any, and then both of them finished before I did.
I did the set time forward trick.
So did I.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to get 2 relic items to spawn next to each other near an end of a zone, and they just. I think I did it in 30 minutes, which still felt like forever, but.
Well, so we're kind of going
time.
off of
Yeah.
Nate's main question or main topic, which, I mean, what do you think, Nate, that they need to do in current games to make it less grindy? What is Destiny doing right? Because tell you what, I still feel like a lot of those quests are quite grindy.
they are some. There are some, but it's not like it's really hard because I'm continually addressing the same group of games, the MMOs, where it's all about questing. But make quest something that you do for like some rare stuff. For instance, if you want something equivalent to the Touch of Malice, you go do a quest. It's not a necessary item, and it's not necessary for you to play the game. But you know what? You're rewarded for the hard work you put into it. We need to figure out ways to put players through the story instead of just saying, "Hey, listen, you need to go do this, do this, do this," and then you can actually play the game. Then you can actually get to where you need to get to.
It's actually interesting, even like simple stuff where I was slacking on my gunsmith stuff on Destiny, and I realized, when you get to a certain level and you get the quest to get the item, and you need to do like X number of kills while using a telemetry, like it'd be cool if for some other reason you'd have to like go through a mission and you could only use that type of weapon.
Yeah,
like that could be an interesting
Yeah.
quest, and if you did that, you unlocked it. Because now it's like, all right, well, I just need to break down a couple of rares or legendaries. Like, okay, I get it. Like, it's a necessary additional step, but that's boring. Like, I can do that quickly or take forever doing it. Like, I think tell better stories is really the answer to the question.
It really is. Like I feel like we're able to slowly losing the art of telling a good story through a game, and there are games who still do it amazingly. Like, just need to look at, from my opinion, the Mass Effect series, telling a fantastic story. Exactly.
Those games.
I mean, if you didn't cry when something's happened in Mass Effect, I'm not going to give any spoilers away, just in case some people haven't finished it.
Yeah,
Man, there are moments I teared up. Not gonna lie.
No, I agree. I think I must have replayed all 3 of those games at least 10 times.
They're phenomenal.
Just for the sheer fact, it's like you get to game 3 and you're like, oh man, I remember that from game 1. I should go back and play game 1 and change my decision to see what happens.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that is a game I do find does it well, but I mean, does it? I feel like those games are perfectly fine. There are enough of those games. Not to say that I don't know exactly how to put what I'm saying. Like there are great games out there, and there's a lot of great games out there that I don't feel like what you're saying exactly is as big of an issue.
Oh, of course not. It's not an issue across the board, but there are games, and they are some of the more popular games that just it's an issue for them. And it's of course it's not across all the board. There are games who I feel like you're immersed in the story, you're a part of the story the entire journey, and that's absolutely amazing. I love that. It's what makes video games great, and glad those games are able to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's great that we've gotten to a point in video gaming where we can tell stories a different way, right? So like the Telltale games. I don't know if 10 years ago or 5 years ago they would have been nearly as successful as they are now with just the way that they can immerse you in different things. I think that's a cool thing, but I think other games haven't caught up to that. or haven't figured out how to merge that with your traditional gaming motif of like an RPG. In fact, RPGs are more linear now because of it, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I could see that for sure. I think that's a good place